Hi, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to have a get ready with me and a talk about forgiveness, you know. So let's chat. For my Scorpio or my fixed sign placements, Taurus just got out of Uranus, so we was kind of in the rough neck of the woods, getting out of like that big long menstrual cycle, and now it's going into, or now it's in Gemini. However, if you have Gemini placements, then as much as people are like, woo, yay, like congrats, like y'all out the neck of the woods, if you got those placements, or if you don't have exactly a planet placed in that area, just whatever house that's like in or around, like just naturally, because each sign has like a certain house and area and stuff, just in general. Good luck, because I am a Gemini 8th house, so yeah. I want to say for me, I think I'm going to actually use a brush, but I want to say for me, for forgiveness, this is coming from a Scorpio rising, Pluto first house person. For me, like, I don't mind forgiveness, but forgiveness is fluid like love, but love is within a pretty powerful and high frequency that sometimes feels like comes at a cost. And although love itself does not come at like a cost, it's also something not always, I don't want to say, no, I can't say like it's not always easy getting, because if I see some makeup or some shoes or a bag or something, I'm like, oh my God, I love that bag. It was easy. I love the bag. Like, and it was that simple. I didn't have to work hard. I didn't have to, beg nobody for like, either forgiveness or anything like that. Like, yeah, no. So that's one of the main things about forgiveness. And I think that's why it's always so worth it for people. Because, it's something that can really change your perspective. And anything that can change your mind can change who you are as a person, And it's one of those things where when it comes to forgiveness, it doesn't always have to be in a positive perspective, but it helps you out if it's in a positive perspective. You know what I'm saying? My main issue is not necessarily with forgiveness, but I be having these brushes that got the little labels on them so I can understand what I'm doing. Anyways, it's not forgiveness that I be having an issue with. It be the people or the things I'm forgiving, because if I'm forgiving you for something I have continuously, excuse me, at that point, it's not even giving grace, because you keep doing the same things over and over that I keep having to forgive you for. And there's going to be a time where I'm like, hey, yeah, so I kind of checked out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm actually kind of done with all this shit. I mean, stuff. Sorry. I'm pretty much tired of it, though. Like, I'm tired of the continuous, especially because I'm a natural born people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? And for me, my biggest issue is forgiving family, people that I consider like family, relatives, because they're not always family. Don't mind my hair, y'all. We're gonna get together. But yeah, just that whole thing, and then that whole feeling like, especially for, if you have a spiritual assignment to do things for your family or do things for people, so you're like, okay, well, let me try to, if I gotta do it, let me, you know what I'm saying, I guess do it right, or do what I need to do. And they just make it hard, and it's so difficult. So what I did was create journal prompts, because I love journaling, as my Virgo Venus would love journaling as well. And I told you I have like a double Gemini placement, so I love intellectualizing and strategizing. Feeling, it's not that I don't like it, but it happens whether I want to or not, or if I'm ready or not. So we'll go through some journal prompts. First one is understanding, like, before you actually get into the prompt, like understanding the exact hurt. Like, was it the action, the intention, or the impact? And sometimes it just be all of them, because you just be like, bruh, like, not even just, I would have never done that to you, but I came again to the mindset to understand or accept. Because sometimes for a lot of people, forgiveness is understanding and accepting things. But a lot of times people be like, oh, I'm empathetic. No, you're too understanding. And it's not even you're too forgiving and stuff. You're just literally too understanding. Like, just because you can understand where something came from does not mean you should accept it. And sometimes you're too accepting, because I kid you not, especially with family. If I was to turn around and do the same things, it just wouldn't fly, because I just was always raised spiritually that, like, to always have it harder than other people, to always have it more stricter and more, and be more disciplined than other people. Mind you, and people don't talk about this a lot. People always say, like, the eldest daughter, the eldest son, and things like that. I am the baby of both my mom and dad's side, but I am one of the most responsible, especially on my mom's side, because that's just the only side I really talk to for real. But I'm the most responsible. So that whole order, it don't matter. I'm the one that has to do everything the right way and then some, and, you know, then do things my own way. Because the thing is, whether it's family or forgiveness, I have to become someone that I was never introduced to. And that's hard, because when other people around you don't recognize who you're becoming and what role model and stuff you even got there from, they're going to treat you like you're an intruder or something. Whole time, I was molded and created to be this way. So you're not just disrespecting me, but you're disrespecting the ones that created me. So yeah, like, so next journal prompt that I got for y'all. What part of me was affected? Was it the trust, the character, or the expectations? Sometimes when some of my questions, I'd be like, that didn't, like, touch my soul enough. So what was another one? Okay. What am I holding on to? And why does it feel safer to hold on to it than to release it? And for me, because I like to be vulnerable as much as I can, or as deep as I can, because I really don't be caring. Unless somebody's trying to invade my privacy, then we got a problem. Anyways, like, sometimes for me, like, I don't like holding on to stuff, but sometimes I really just be feeling like, in this situation, how can I even forgive? How can I let go? What can I do to even let go and stuff? So that'd be the hardest part. But I guess for me, like, let's say if it's family or something, it feels safer to hold on to, because I still got to be around these people. You know what I'm saying? Or, like, not necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to the grudge, I'm gonna have an attitude and stuff, but it's easier for me to be able to wield and maneuver that weapon than to than to just be open and super vulnerable like that, you know. Which is, it's not always okay. I really don't think it's okay at all. I don't really be feeling like doing all that. But sometimes, even when I forgive them, like, or even just friends or past lovers, like, even when I think about forgiving them, there'll be something else that pops into my mind. I'd be like, actually, never mind. Never mind. That actually just pissed me off all over again. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes to forgiveness, sometimes you have to ask yourself for real, like, what are you holding on to and why? Like, you're not just holding on to the relationship, or like if I let that go, then I will have to let them go. And that is okay too, you know? But it's also just like, it just ain't worth it. You know in your mind it ain't worth it. So you're doing the hard work of them not being in your life, but you crying all the time. And it's okay to cry, but you're not releasing. So sometimes the tears are, if you can't do it, I'm going to help you out and do it for you. Yeah. What do I need to do, or what do I need to feel safe again? And this is very important to ask yourself, because throughout this process, or throughout these prompts, you're checking in on your body, mind, body, and spirit. So you're like, what's the solution? And not to move on fast, but what do I need to feel safe to forgive? Not to move on, not to hate the person in peace, not to hold a safer, smaller grudge, or like deal with them but still try to hold them at an arm's length and all that stuff. No, like, what do I need to feel safe again? And sometimes it can be something tangible, like a bottle or something. I wouldn't suggest it, but I know how stuff works. You know, I'm realistic. But I think that, like for me, what I would need to feel safe again is to remove myself. Now, I know sometimes I be escaping and be putting myself in harm's way, or it feels like harm's way. And that wouldn't make me feel safe, but it would make me feel temporarily safe because I'm not around what is making me sick, you know? So it's just like, I mean, okay, cool, but what do you actually need, you know? And it's not come up with a survival plan, it's just to tap in, you know? Sometimes you have to accept the truth about what their intentions were, why they did it. And sometimes it will be based on what you think on why they did it, because sometimes you will talk to people, girl. Sometimes you'll talk to people and they won't even be honest with themselves mid-combo about what they doing and why. And you know the truth. You know what's up. You know what it is. And some people just, and I've been seeing a lot of people actually talk about it. A lot of people intuition be kicking in early. So you're feeling the emotions. You're seeing the dreams. You know exactly what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, why it's going to happen. Woo, 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 woo. But you're trying to beat them to the punch. Or if it's something like the situation already happened and you're like, what we doing? And, you know, they just don't want to own up. And in mentally, you just have to accept what it is. You know, now sometimes it be like, okay, I ain't got no proof of this. So is it safe to admit this, feel like this, all this stuff? But if you trust yourself, you trust your intuition, you're like, you know, I ain't trying to find a reason to crash out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just have to do what is best. And when it comes to forgiveness, put the crash out part on the side sometimes. Like, don't just go in there looking or being like, bruh, if I look into this, I'm gonna crash out, I'm gonna woo, 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 woo. Sometimes your body don't need that. Sometimes it's literally sad. If you want to be angry, deal with that on your own time. Don't put nobody in harm's way. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Like, don't be with nobody that will put you in harm's way just because they're being confronted. Like, sometimes you just don't need that, you know? Sometimes you can look at, you know, like, if you ask yourself, what does forgiveness mean to me and what does it not mean? Like, redefine, like, what are we actually doing? Like, what actually is, what does it actually look like? Like, does it look like this? Does it look like this? Does it look like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to be a little bit more specific when it comes to that. What does forgiveness, you know, look like for me and not for others? That's another big question for yourself. And these questions may seem cliche, but I do these prompts for every single person, every single situation. Excuse me, because I just be like, Because what I used to do with journaling, like if I'm talking about forgiveness, I'm thinking about so many people that have wronged me. So many moments where I feel like I wronged myself and I'm trying to forgive myself. And it's too much. Like, it's too much detail. It's too many people. It's too many things. And then certain people have done so many things. Even if it's not too many people, you just gotta take it one step at a time. You gotta give yourself the room and space to even grieve during this process. Like some people, and I'll mention Taurus placements too, because yeah, you know, avoiders sometimes, not all the time, because y'all can quickly call somebody else out on they bull, but once it's like, you know, and I think that's why y'all bulls in general, because y'all can call somebody out on their bull. But once it's like, okay, well, let's talk about your perspective or your side, and let's sit with those feelings, then it's, you know what I'm saying, avoidancy and stuff. But anyways, yeah, like, sit with those emotions. Sit with what comes up. And sometimes if it don't come up in such a time, what I do suggest, which really has helped me a lot, guided meditations. Like, there's some on every streaming platform, you know, and being able to sit there and visualize and breathe and see, you know what I'm saying, different areas of your body, because they have different guided meditations. So some for anger, some for forgiveness, some for inner child and stuff like that. Like, being able to sit and really be like, you know, kind of walking you through it. Sometimes you need more step by step, especially if you've never done it before. Like, and if you're like, okay, well, I just feel like I just need to call my homeboy and my homegirl and get through it, and that's it. Okay, well, you do that and you take them questions with you. And maybe somebody can sit there and be your semi-therapist and help you get through it. Because maybe that's what you need. Maybe that is what you need. You are absolutely right. Maybe you need somebody there, because I'm kind of like that, you know, because my Virgo Venus in my 11th house, like, I love, like, when I talk to somebody about it, I can put stuff together that I never realized and stuff, you know, or I talk to myself like this out loud, because who gonna check me? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And then life after forgiveness is just kind of like, who do I want to become when I'm no longer holding this grudge or holding this person accountable? Like, who am I when I pass the accountability baton off to God, spirit, them, like the other person? Like, who am I after all of this? And this part is very important, because a lot of people feel like, well, I'm just damaged goods, or I'm this hurt person, or I don't know who I'll be, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I can't think straight, and I can't live, I can't breathe, or I can't see past the rose-colored glasses of betrayal. And it's just like, well, Bookie, life's still gonna move on. You still gonna grow. Like, please don't become like that person that is stuck in their trauma, whether it's at 5 years old, 14 years old, or 30 years old and stuff. You know, I be having adults tell me, like, you know, I'm 50 something, I'm 40 something, I'm just now figuring out. Don't do that. Figure out who will I be, and what timeline do I want to do a check-in, unless, you know, your body just gives you a timeline. But what timeline do I want to do a check-in on? All right, who am I after the pain? You know what I'm saying? And then grief is, you know, not linear. So you may be like, okay, I am extraordinary, and all these positive affirmations, which you absolutely should do. And then there may be some days where you're like, bro, I feel like I'm someone that can't breathe. I feel like I can't breathe. I can't think. I can't look at myself because I see them, or, you know, like for me, for the longest, even as a Leo, I couldn't tap into my solar plexus energy, because there are so many times where I've been exploited in dynamics to where I was just sexy. Like, I wasn't cute, I wasn't adorable, like I was just my body, I was just my looks. So now being able to do this is a lot within itself. It's not a lot as in like, oh, it feels super traumatic and, you know, I can't think straight. Because sometimes it does feel paralyzing like that. Like, let's be for real. But sometimes it feels like that and it's not even that, you know. But from being like exploited and doing a lot and being a lot, which is not fair, of course. Sometimes you have to see like, who am I? What am I even doing? This don't even feel right. And that imposter syndrome will try to kick in and be like, yeah, who are you? What are you doing? This don't feel right. And you're like, I gotta do what feels right in my body, my intuition. Like, no, sometimes you have to get past certain barriers. And that barrier is there, but you're in the process of knocking it down because you have to. So yeah, sometimes you have to do what is necessary. Like for me, like I swear to God, like doing any type of even dancing, just laughter, enjoyment, like it felt like such a crime. And for the longest, like then I would, because I'm such like a mother to myself, and I'm such like a caring, like, oh, are you okay? Like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, you know, it just would be so much of just that when heavy emotions like that do come up for me, and I'm like, what just triggered this? What's wrong? Who did it? You know, and sometimes it just doesn't even take all that, you know. So I do hope that your journey in forgiveness, with forgiveness, for forgiveness, you deserve to forgive yourself. You deserve to love yourself. Whether people understood how to honor your body with that or not, or people understood how to manage that with you or not, because sometimes people see you healing and doing certain stuff and be like, girl, what it is you doing? You know, like when I was younger, I never had the chance to heal. Well, you're still breathing and your body may have kept score, but it healed that scar literally on your arm, and it healed it in your heart to where even if the weapon or anything is a piece of it still lodged inside, like you can at any point, and that's the thing about healing, at any point you can stop, you can turn around and say, hey, we got to do an emergency surgery right now because it's blocking my money flow, it's blocking my blessings. Like at any given moment, it's like, all right, we can do a U-turn right now at no cost, or sometimes it's going to cost you a relationship that you really want to be in and stuff, but you know what I'm saying, your body or your intuition's like, sorry Buki, but you're going to have to pick one, you know, and it may feel like a crime, but you got to look at who's around you making it feel like a crime. And if it's just you around you because you don't really got friends, you don't trust nobody, you know what I'm saying, then it's like, is it even really a crime? Like what, you know what I'm saying? Or like, why are you holding yourself hostage from healing? Healing on the outside, you know, trying to save you, and you sitting on the inside like, you know. And sometimes it don't even be us trying to hold back. Like for me, I be wanting to forgive. I be wanting to heal. Sometimes it be so ancestrally deep on not knowing how to forgive, or not wanting to forgive family and like just not even a specific person, but just because they're relatives, because maybe in my lineage they weren't the best at that. That is a real thing, you know. So I hope this helps. I hope that you have fun journaling. If you have extra journal prompts that you want to share about forgiveness, I am, oh my God, new nails. Do y'all like my nails? How did I do it in photos? I don't know. But yeah, if you have extra like prompts and stuff you want to share and all that hoopla, share with the class. Yeah. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I be going out in these streets. I do not be going my wigs down for real. Unless like I know I'm finna goddamn go outside and do cartwheels or the wind is real heavy outside. But girl, I don't be doing all that. Like, even if I'm going to see my girlfriend, like, I mean, as long as I hide, you know what I'm saying, the little knots of my natural hair, you know. But y'all, I do not be caring, cause it's gonna get the job done. That's why people pluck their lace and stuff so much, cause I shouldn't have to glue and melt. It just needs to do right the first time. And maybe I could be a little delulu when it comes to that. But sometimes I slap these on and it does right the first time, to where I don't have to do all that. So hopefully wigs will stay that way. Y'all, please don't mind my hair. But yeah, I'm glad that we was able to have a little chat. And I hope that you guys like my look, because I like it, you know. And I will see you next time.